Here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
No, gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
Zwack. A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
The second race of the chase begins at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Saturday Night Racing League, 17 races into the 20-race season. And right now, Jeff Wright with a 38-point lead coming in to the final weeks. From the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway, it's the Saturday Night Racing League. Live on V-Speed, I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, alongside Connor Horn. And Connor, we've seen a lot of action, a lot of great finishes. But it's coming down to the very end, and only 38 points separating a 6-time winner this season. It's going to get even better.
This is going to be definitely wild for sure. I believe tonight Jeff Wright, at least by my count, Sim Racer Hub's count, comes into tonight with a 26-point lead over Joseph McWhorter. It's definitely in the 20 to 30 point range. Him and McWhorter kind of even the first 2 races this season. Stravato, by my count, 33 back. Chad Klinger, 38 back after not a great showing at Talladega. That was probably the most exciting race we've had this season, was when we went to Talladega last week. Bailey Turner won it early. The only driver not the wreck won the race, but you see your points on the sheet right now. Still, any driver's game, I would say, in that 40 to 50 point range, as Taylor Butcher Benjamin and Ryan Carwell definitely, I think they've shown up the last 2 races, so they might already be out of it. But Jeff Wright, this is his bread and butter, 1.5 mile racetrack, so it's going to be tough to beat him at his own game tonight.
Yeah, and we have Adam Cabot out there. Imagine if Adam Cabot had a chance to run a full season, because he's been having dominant races here as of late. If he was able to race every single race, I think it would be, and the same with Bailey Turner, with 2 wins outside the top 12, just not able to make every single race, but here he is in the 6th position here tonight. So let's get to your grid really quick. We'll try to run through this as quickly as we possibly can, because we're a little bit behind. But Jeff Wright, Adam Cabot, the front row. Second row is going to be AJ Stravato, Joseph McWhorter, Michael Sturgill in 5th, 6th spot Ray Massey, 7th Chad Klinger and Joshua Banks in 8th. And rounding out that top 10, we've got Bailey Turner and Mark Whitley.
Whitley was really fast last week too as well, and Turner obviously our winner last week. And then you get to the drivers outside the top 10, some play up drivers, some not. Caleb Weeklu's been strong all season. He's starting in the 11th position. Nick Starling making an appearance tonight in the 7th car, and that's going to be, see what he can do. He's had a decent season when he has raced, as we'll get the 1 to go this time by. 13th placed Austin Volk, that's the pronunciation I will go with for now. He starts 13th. Eddie Trejo, 14th position, his number 21 machine. The 15th place was to be Ryan Carwell, but he did not load in, so he is not going to start this race on the green flag. Initially, he'll start from the pits if he gets going at all. Then a 72 of Jonathan Smith alongside him. And then the next row, which would be row number 9, Alex Bell, Mark McFadden, who start side by side one another. And then rounding out our supposed to be 20-car field for tonight, all 10 rows. Max Cost in the 63, Brandon Wallace in the 99.
So thankfully, track stewards might have saw that we were a little bit behind and waved the green flag off 1 lap for us. So we appreciate that very, very much.
Yes, sir. Definitely those stewards looking out for us, because we're unprepared, but we're good. We're still going green Saturday night racing. I'm interested to see what Adam Cabot does tonight. I do not want to see Jeff Wright run away with this. I'm sure no one else does either besides Jeff Wright. So I'm really looking to see what Cabot can do. He's competed with the 48 when he makes his starts and taken some wins from him, but I believe 1.5 miles have been a little bit more tricky for the 17 to keep up. So I'm going to go with him. It's going to be my pick. I'm just going to take it.
I think I'm going to go with the 33 of AJ Stravato. It's down to Joseph McWhorter, Stravato, but I'm going to go with Stravato here tonight. He's been a little bit dry here lately, so I think he gets a win. But pace car pulls off here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And chase race number 2 is underway. Green flag in the air. And we're live at Charlotte.
Whoa, McWhorter spinning. Oh, and he saved it. My gosh, how did he save that? But big slide. Everyone was loose in the turn number 1.
This car looking really loose as they come off of turn 2. He slid all the way down to the apron down the backstretch, but to lead lap number 1, it's going to be Jeff Wright in the 48 car with Adam Cabot hot on the rear bumper.
I thought it was the 2001 All-Star race for a minute. The track's wet, it's raining, but no, just really sideways on full tires. I saw the 48 slide, I thought he was spinning. Then the 73, I saw his letters, or I should say his numbers. And that's never a good sign when you see someone's numbers in the corner. He made a great save, but he lost a lot of track positions all the way back in about 14th now.
Yeah, we're looking on back here. Another car that got a little bit loose going into 3. That was the 35 of Joshua Banks. He's now getting passed by Nick Starling on the inside. And possibly Caleb Weekly here into 1.
Weekly making the move there, gets to the bottom. Not much grip on that top lane quite yet, as you can see with all the moves up there. And side by side for the 3rd position, Stravato in a new paint scheme. No Old Spice colors in the Pride Lawn Care 33 this week. That's Sturgill on the bottom, his usual scheme. They'll go side by side. Rather decent run on the top, but even still the 90 just a slightly better run as they still battle side by side for that 3rd position.
They're still side by side into 1 and 2, and Sturgill hasn't quite completed the pass. Here he comes off of 2 and not door to door with the 33. It looks like the outside gets a good run on the exit.
See what happens here, 3 and 4. Stroud didn't get a great run last time. By this time, I think he will here. 90 Sturgill. How much those tires burned up by running that top line for a couple laps, we'll see from Stravato. But for now, the 33 is in 3rd position as Cabot slowly comes back to Stravato. I think saving the tires, letting the 48 lead. He's not here for mid-pack since he was the wins. The entire field gets single filed out. As I say that, you can show McWhorter climbing back through the field, battling for the 12th position of Eddie Trejo in the background.
And I just noticed, for some reason, I've got my graphics turned down far enough. We're not seeing any light posts here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway for whatever reason. But probably to maintain the frame rates. We got a lot of cars in some of these leagues that we broadcast here on V-Speed. And if we get a field over 25, my computer starts sweating. It literally starts to drip water out of it.
Maybe that's why turn 1 was so slick.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, look at Sturgill on the top side. On board with him now. He's going straight to that top side. He got back by Stravato. Now he's hunting a runner-up position from Cabot. Just fired it into turn 3 on the top side. Look at him here again. He just sends it out in there. Just gains car length by doing so. But that is definitely the type of driving that will burn those tires. Now, the 2nd.
So put Sturgill up to 2nd, trying to chase down the 48 of Jeff Wright, who's maintained the lead since we took the green flag. He's led all 6 laps completed, about to be number 7 as they come out of turn 4. Talked about Joseph McWhorter. He's fallen all the way back. He's still in the 11th position, so he's gained some of those spots back. But getting a little bit loose, that just shows you how fast it can happen. Those little mistakes.
Yeah, now he's coming up on the rear bumper of Nick Starling. He's supposed to be in the 7, but he's in the 94, at least on my screen, as he's got a big Jaguar cars in front of him. Last week's winner, Bailey Turner, leading this group. Caleb Weekly looking to the top, trying to get around. Warder gets around Starling in his Ford Fusion pretty easily. Bailey Turner, I don't know if he's saving tire, but he looks a little off pace right now. He's got 3 or 4 drivers right behind him.
So almost 3 wide as they go into 1 there. Turner taking the bottom, and that allows Weekly up on the outside. Looks like these guys trying the high side are really fast here in the early of the race. But you said, like we've seen all season long, that high line starts to burn the tires off quickly, and almost some contact there between Weekly and Turner. And touching the apron for the 13.
Oh boy.
He's got Starling all over the back bumper here.
He hit the apron because he got loose on the track, so that was really tight. apologize over the radio to Starling. That was a hairy moment, but they kept it straight for now as Weekly goes right back to that top side as McWhorter got by Bailey Turner for the 8th position. He finally tries to get back to the front of this field. He's still got another 3.5 seconds to leader Jeff Wright, who has been reeled in slightly by the 90 of Sturgill. Sturgill yet to make any sort of move as these top two scoot away from everyone else. Cabot's just letting them go. Same thing for Shavato and Klinger.
So Cabot probably saving tires a little bit here. We've talked about the long run that Cabot's kind of masterfully crafted over the course of this season. And we watched him battle with, on Tuesday nights, with David Shieldhouse and a few others. It just came down to an awesome move by Eric Hutton to win the race. And so he too has gotten a little dry here lately, and pass for the lead now. The 90 of Sturgill to the inside of Jeff Wright.
The battle for the lead is certainly not dry, but Jeff Wright immediately is going to take that challenge right to the 90, just went to the top side and drove it hard. Look how big of a gap he got from doing so. I don't think Sturgill was ready for the 48 to pull that out of his bag of tricks, but I think if Wright needs to drive hard, he can. That's what he just showed.
Yeah, he's been out of the bottom since the green flag dropped, so he can afford to go up there and pick up that speed just to maintain that lead. Pulls the gap back out to about 2.3 of a second. Smart driving on his part. 48 to Jeff Wright. There's a reason he's had 6 wins this season.
Yeah, it's really no surprise that majority of those wins have come on 1.5 miles as well. Las Vegas earlier in this season, also won at Texas when we went there, Kansas as well, and Chicagoland 2 weeks ago. So that is 4 of his 6 wins this season coming on 1.5 miles, the only 2 that happened. Oh man!
Alex Bell out of 4. I saw him inside there, Jonathan Smith. He worked that wheel hard to get around him though.
Oh my goodness, that was for 14th position too. He just kind of door slammed the 72 there, but they kept it straight. Look at a replay on that while they continue to battle. The 15 this is out of turn number 2. He almost got up the track a little bit there.
Yeah, I backed it up a little too far, but yeah, the 15 coming off of turn 4 right here. He's been door to door with the 72 for about a lap through this. I don't know how he still completed the pass.
He kept his foot in. He never.
They made contact with netcode there.
Maybe a little netcode, but they definitely, I think, would have hit anyways. But yeah, good job, both the drivers hanging on to it. As that was a pretty hairy moment. As we'll go back up close to the front as Bell is clearing away from the 72 of Jonathan Smith. Now Wright continues to lead, the 90 in second, and Cabot in third. I want to see what line he takes in turn 1. Yeah, that's what I thought he would do. He ran the way top last time. I'm glad he did it again. Just trying to see what that wall's got going for him right now.
That's another thing we saw Adam Cabot do several different places where everybody else was glued to the bottom. He was the only car up on the top, and he was able to pass. It takes guts to run up there in this Gen 4 car, though. It's already kind of stepping out on the right rear. Very easy to get too close to the wall. Your nose looks like it's away from it, but that right rear is actually a good 6 inches sticking out to the right.
Yeah, you drive these cars on the right rear, so running the wall is so hard to do. You see Stravato tried the same thing, not do it as well as that 17, and here comes out of Cabot coming to the front with the top side in mind. Sturgill planted at the bottom trying to keep some tire on it after he used that top side, but I think Cabot's finally trying to give a challenge to the 48, as I don't think Sturgill's going to be able to defend this one.
Yeah, Cabot waiting way late in the run to pull out that high line, but here goes down to the bottom. He got the pass completed, so maybe back into conservation mode. About half a second now from Jeff Wright to Adam Cabot. He passed Sturgill in one corner, so made quick work of that. Moving on back here, checking in with some other guys. Joseph McWhorter in 7th position. Looks like Caleb Weekly might have got loose. He falls 3 spots here.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was weird. I think he might have hit the wall down the straightaway. He was battling with Joshua Bang. I think they all sorted it out for the time being. Oh, they came together. Weekly just kind of went to the wall to avoid, and oh my goodness, Carling, that could have been really, really bad. I thought he was going to hook him, but somehow they did not wreck there.
So Weekly, a little bit of right side scuff with the wall, not going to damage that machine too bad. He should be able to get back up there. But yeah, the avoidance there by Starling and Joshua Banks to not cause a big wreck. Close one there. So right on board here with the number 35.
Banks back to 10th after starting in the 8th position, got the onboard, kind of like the, I wouldn't call it a chase cam because it's kind of off-center. It's like the TV cam in the F1 games, which I don't know anyone who races on that camera view, but we get the view for Banks here as up at the front, things sort of changing a little bit. Stravato's up to the 3rd position, and Sturgill starting to fall back a little bit as Banks tries to close in on that battle, but he's much further back. Then Sturgill starts to fall. Mark Whitley making his way to the front as Stravato into the top 3, back to the top 3, I should say, and Whitley up to 4th. He started in 10th, so he's one of our biggest movers, if not our biggest mover so far tonight.
Yeah, biggest mover of the race, up 6 positions. Closest guy to him is only up 3 spots. It's Alex Bell back in 13th. So AJ Stravato changes the top 3. Jeff Wright and Adam Cabot kind of the same as we've seen all season long. But my pick here tonight, I went with him. I was kind of in between, but I think Stravato's got the goods here at Charlotte.
Definitely looking solid so far. So is Joseph McWhorter. Technically, he could be a big mover because of how far back he fell on lap number 1. He really didn't get a good lap 1 at all. He ended lap 1 in 17th, and he's climbed up 10 positions since then. He is in a battle with Bailey Turner. He just passed Bailey Turner. Turner just passed him back for that 7th position, though. So you see McWhorter goes back at him here as you see cars all over the track at this point in the run. But the leaders, the guys making really good time. Once they need to pass, they're planted to that blue and white team line.
And we've seen a lot of guys struggle this year. Stravato being another one of those drivers that just made the race harder than it needed to be. We saw that a lot at the beginning of the season. He's kind of leveled that out, but it's been kind of the same for McWhorter and Massey. You could even put Banks in that category because he's back to 10th. He started up in 8th position. Some of these guys that have mistakes early or just, get too aggressive early in the run, burn their stuff up. It's just one of those things that discipline, driving your own race and not worrying about who's around you. Kind of like Robbie Gordon trying to pass a lap car at a road course, kind of like that.
Yeah, just trying to hold one off for that. It's definitely tough in these Gen 4 cars. It's just pacing yourself, racing the track is always part of the game in these cars. And yeah, like you said, Stravato had issues with it the first month of the season. It felt like finally leveled off, got that win at Martinsville. He's had a solid season since then. Really, there's really only 2 or 3 drivers that were okay with racing the track eventually. And those are the guys who are top 2, top 3 in the standings still. So definitely tough to get a grasp once you haven't driven this car for a while and then jump into a league, racing it weekly, having to be ready and run at the front. But drivers have done a good job doing that so far this season, especially Jeff Wright, who's obviously in that category. He's up to about a second lead, maybe about 6, 7 tenths of a second lead now as Joseph McWhorter continues to climb through the field. As few other drivers still trying to make some lap time. To get 19 drivers on track tonight. Carwell qualified 15th, did not make the grid.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for the 81 team. We're checking in here with Max Cost. He started in the 19th spot. He's picked up 2, I guess 3 positions technically. Carwell being in that mix there with the timing and scoring kind of getting broken. Jonathan Smith. He's had a quiet night tonight. Hasn't really moved anywhere, but he's on the verge of going up to 14th position behind Eddie Trejo. It looks like he's having a little bit of blinking issues. And then Eddie Trejo in the 21. We talked about the points battle. A lot of these guys out here just putting down laps and trying to get more experience as the season's cut off for the top 12. As far as that goes, your top 3 are in it, guaranteed in it. We don't do an elimination, so your top 12 is going to be championship eligible for the remainder of this season.
Trejo 20th in points, just trying to miss half the season, just trying to And on a high note, as the battle for third heats up, Stravado way up the track in the middle of 3 and 4. I think he's starting to feel the effects of tire, where Mark Whitley is starting to motor on through. He's up to third now, almost completing this pass on Stravado. Should have it in the turn 1 here. Stravado starts to fall back as Jeff Wright starting to try to put some ground on the 17. I think I just saw Sturgill hit the wall in the background, but he keeps it going as it's a crossover from Stravado on Mark Whitley.
Yeah, Stravado's, he's having some problems, I guess, in that higher line. If he drops it back down, looking like it's a little bit tight in and then really loose off.
Yeah, that's really not a good combo to have in a Gen 4's tight in here. You need to be a little tight to run the top efficiently. That loose off, once you get on the throttle, you are turning right out of the corner, and that's exactly what I saw Stravado do. He was turning wheel right the entire turn number 2. That is tough to do at a track with such tight exits. He gets right on the bumper of Whitney in turn 3. As you can see, right. He didn't turn the wheel left once on the exit of that corner. How tough it is. He might even be turning it right in the dog leg. Gen 4 cars, tracks with dog legs are not fun because you're usually drifting through those as well. As he starts to lose ground to the 77. Meanwhile, the 17 gaining ever so slightly on Jeff Wright, but still nothing to really make a difference. He's kept the gap at consistently 0.6 of a second. As we have a Mark McFadden on hit. I don't think he hit anything. Maybe an early stop, maybe calling it a night, but everyone else still on track, but we should be close to green flag pit stop soon.
Yeah, and we were talking about that gap, about 0.5 of a second. Car in the wall back here. I don't know exactly. I think that was Chad Klinger riding the wall there in the entry of 1. Klinger has worked his way up to the 5th spot.
I think it was Klinger. The same thing Sturgill did from what I saw. No damage though, so he keeps it clean, but lost some ground to the 33. Really falling as well right now. He is not having a good long run. He had good middle run pace, but it really trailed off as we got outside of 25 laps on the set of tires.
Looking back here at the 15 of Alex Bell, he's now just outside the top 10, trying to chase down Joshua Banks. He is about 3.5. They just scrubbed the wall there going into 1, but Banks about 3.5 seconds ahead of Bell. He's got a lot of ground to make up, an entire backstretch in distance here.
There's a big difference in pace from the top half and the bottom half. Like you can see it right there, 3.5 seconds. The battle for 10th, the battle for 9th is still on. Ray Massey's been holding on to it. Not Chad Klinger, Joshua Banks wants it. Massey's just gonna let him go here. Just give him the position. Banks stays on the bottom. McWhorter, he had to really trailblaze through the field so quickly from 17th. Got up to about 7th, but Haley turning past him back, and he's been in 8th place ever since. As I believe Michael Sturgill's coming down pit road this time. Yes, he is.
So the 90, tired of ill handling effects here on this car.
Whoa,
He locked it up pretty hard. But I think he's going to be okay. That was a close one.
That was close. There's a cone there, but I don't think he did anything to it. We'll see what happens here. Lap 34, he pits here. So that puts you just pretty much at the threshold of a 3-stop, which is kind of what we expect at these 140-lap races. As I'm sure he's going to bring in a number of other drivers here. Here comes 5th place Chad Klinger. Joseph McWhorter's going to pit from what was 8th. Ray Massey follows him down, so it's definitely going to start the sequence as Sturgill does not pull out of his pit stall, so it was not fine. He's been penalized.
Yeah, and we talked about the unsafe pit entry cone. That's protected by a wall at this racetrack, so you're either going to get it down to speed and keep it inside, or you're going to slam into an outside concrete wall and damage your machine. It's no longer just sliding out into the grass here at Charlotte like it used to be.
Here comes Cabot and Whitley. Very squirrely. They came down. Stravado as well, so that puts Jeff Wright in not the great situation because he's kind of the last one left out there, and these three, they have the opportunity to jump the 48. As you can see, drivers pulling off the pit road. That's Klinger, McWhorter, Massey. Trejo also came in. Sturgill comes out, finally serving his penalty. And looks like Cabot, Stravado, Whitley, Alex Bell, Darling, Weekly. Basically, the last half of the field came down. And Jeff Wright comes down this time as well. Had to respond as does Bailey Turner and Joshua Banks. They will not go longer than 37 laps.
Turner locking up the front tires. Looks like he got it down to speed, though. And Jeff Wright just now getting to his stall as the 17 of Cabot's back out on the racetrack. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys got on and off pit road. Cabot was very close to Jeff Wright before these green flag pit stops began. So we could have a chance for the lead.
Oh, look who jumped Adam Cabot. That's Mark Whitley. He really sent it pit entry. I'm not sure if Cabot missed his stall or what, but Whitley was able to jump to 17, so it could be him cycling out to the race lead. But Jeff Wright's out of his box already. See where he cycles out here. He's trying to look how hard he's trying to wheel it. It is so hard to get off the pit road at this track. He got his right rear on the blue and white line. He's not going to retain the lead. Whitley to the lead. Cabot's going to be in second. Wright has some clean air to slot into third position. But it's so hard to exit the pit here because there is no apron down there. There's very little banking, and there's no grip down there either.
So after the green flag cycle of pit stops, we have a new leader. First lead change of the night goes to the 77 of Mark Whitley. We're about 40 laps in to a 140 lap race. You're watching Chase Race number 2 at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Saturday Night Racing League. We're going to take a quick commercial break here on V-Speed and be back right after this.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Back here live for Chase Race number 2 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Mark Whitley takes over the lead, but it's starting to heat back up front here. Adam Cabot and Jeff Wright side by side, right behind your leader. The number 77 going to have his hands full momentarily.
Who's he going to have his hands full of? I think it's going to be both of them right to the bottom. Cabot, he's trying to be the one next in line to get Whitley. Cabot went to the top to defend, but he's going to get the run off and keep the 48 at bay for at least another set of corners. Wright tried to go to the top of Cabot in 1-2 the lap before and almost wrecked the darn thing. But still fighting on the top is Cabot. It's not as good in 3 and 4. He really harder with the wall. He might have tapped it there, but he still keeps the 48 behind. But Whitley just can't do anything at this point. He's just got to run the bottom and hope he can clear both of these guys. Because 17 can't get to his outside in the corner. He won't get to the 77. And he'll keep the 48 at bay if he just keeps running the bottom. But This is incredible stuff.
Yeah, still side by side for about 3 laps now. Jeff Wright able to hold on to second position as they come across the line with a little wiggle there. And Cabot into the wall.
It's not a big hit, though. He's fine. That won't hurt the car at all, but it's going to give the 48 a shot here to maybe have a chance to clear the 17 here, as Cabot really lost time on entry there. A little too close to that wall in turn number 1, and 48 easily clear to the second position. Meanwhile, in the background, the battle for 4th was pretty hot. Stravato got to 4th. Klinger's now 5th. McWhorter back to 6th. As Cabot's still trying to rip that top line and trying to make it work. And he did get a solid run this time, but likely nowhere to go with it. I wonder if the 48 jumps up. No, he's going to force his way low on Whitley. And Whitley's going to try to pinch. I don't think that's the move, but he's going to do it anyways. Watch the run Cabot gets here. Not much.
It was enough. I think it was enough for Jeff to not run the line he wanted to run. I don't know how many more times Whitley will get away with that, but a good defensive drive there.
Oh, Cabot is not going to last up there. I think he tapped the wall again. He's still getting runs, but he just get to the bottom for the time being. I know he wants to race, have fun, but here goes the 48. He's going to go to the top side. I don't know what Whitley can do here. He's clear if he wants to slide up. Wright's just not getting the exit out of the corners up the top line that everyone else is, and it's keeping Whitley in the lead as we go to the top again. Cabot to the bottom. I love the different lines we're seeing. It's not something we've really seen a lot of this season, but I think Wright has a better chance here, but still Whitley shuts the door.
Saw the most of it at Chicagoland, I believe, where the multi-groove really came into play. Into the inside now for the 48 of Jeff Wright. Another pinch here by Whitley.
Wow.
And Wright has to lift out of the throttle to not get into the left rear quarter panel.
Yeah, he missed the bottom there. He hit that bump and missed the paint. And when that happens, it just shoots you up the racetrack as just barely able to avoid disaster. Chad Klinger just avoided disaster. He had a big slide out of turn 2 that put McWhorter back in the top 5. As these guys are still racing pretty hard, but the battle of the lead is so volatile. It's hard to get away from it as the 48 goes up the racetrack. Almost looked like Whitley tried to defend it there as we saw that slide by the Klinger, possibly. It almost looked like Whitley wanted to defend the top, and it kind of threw Jeff Wright off a little bit as we're starting to see lap traffic creep into the picture just a little bit here, but here comes Wright. He might have the right rear here out of turn number 4. I think Whitley has to give him the room.
He does. There's the nose in there coming off of 4. Another lap led for the 77. Now what is he going to do?
Don't know if he can really do anything. 48's there at this point. Look at the run he's got. I think it's going to be hard to fight off with the 48 on your right rear. They can just pinch you at will and run the top at will if he wants.
So still really, really close now as they go into 3 and 4. Whitley using that apron to try to get that car to rotate. Car in the wall, the 71. That was McFadden.
That was. I thought it was going to be involving the leaders, but he kept it on the apron, keeps it straight. We stay green, and the battle for the lead stays side by side. Cabot's starting to catch back up to these two. But where's he going to go in this? I think 48's just about to clear him, but not into the corner.
We're talking about a matter of inches here, and Wright also using a little bit of a pinch there in the entrance, but smartly coming back up in the middle of the corner to keep Whitley from dooring him. They're still side by side for the lead.
48 not to the very top. He'll run the middle. Whitley washed up the track there. It's gonna I think that's gonna end this battle. I think Wright's gonna have the run. He'll clear him. So finally, Jeff Wright, I think, completes this pass. We'll see if he chops the nose. No, he won't. Whitley's gonna go back to the bottom.
So Whitley with another deep drive into 3 and 4, and you know he's got to be eating those tires up lap after lap. Not giving up, though. 0.02 of a second as they cross the line. He's still side by side going into 1.
I think both of these drivers are killing their tires. And I think at this point, Adam Cabot, who hit the wall on entry, I think that time there, is trying to be like, you know what? You guys can race. I'm going to be in the best position before the next round of stops here. And he's just letting these guys go. As surprising to me, Whitley got back pretty even with the 48 there down the back.
Yeah, he must have found something out there after that first run of getting past, and now this time by, it looks like the 77's going to lead a lap. These guys trading blows back and forth for about 6 laps now for the lead. But hey, we got 18 other guys out here in this racetrack we got to talk about.
We're not even halfway at this point, so yeah, we got to get to those other drivers at some point. Is talking about Adam Cabot, he's running in third. We're also talking about Joseph McWhorter. Stravato in between him and Cabot. Stravato fourth, McWhorter settled into fifth here after the 0-9 of Chad Klinger had issues.
I have to go back to it. They just traded the lead 3 times in 1 lap, so I don't know who's going to decide this, but Cabot might have to come up here and play mediator.
He's just running that top. He's very content with rim riding. And caution! We have a yellow. It's Chad Klinger. I was about to note Klinger went a lap down randomly, and now he spins out, and that battle goes away.
Whitley was in the lead when the caution came out, and the 09 freezing the field here for our first caution of the night on lap 57 out of 40. Let's go back, take an instant replay, find out. Must have lost it by himself here.
I think after he had a big slide, he pit. He's on newer tires, I believe.
Yeah, he just come out on new tires, and that thing just snapped free.
Ooh,
Almost hits the wall.
I was about to say, just keeps it out of the inside wall. But that does bring out a caution, and that is a little bit of a shame because that was some of the best battling we've seen on a mile and a half. I haven't really seen that many drivers. We haven't seen a driver really besides Adam Cabot challenge that 48 on a mile and a half. But Whitley has great speed tonight, and obviously undercutting the 48 to get the lead was a big part of that as well. Track position, keeping the tires cooler and clean air is a big product of that. But that goes out the window because now we get the pit under yellow on lap 58.
Everybody except for Sturgill, and it looked like Klinger's going to come down pit road as well, I believe. Unless he's pretty committed to that separate. You know, he's going to try to get the wave around here after going a lap down. So down pit road, Jeff Wright, Adam Cabot, the 77 who won the battle off of pit road last time under green. Let's see if he can win it again as they exit.
Just quick to note, Mark McFadden, after he hit the wall, he did retire, so it's our first real retirement of the race. He'll be credited with 19th. And out of pit road, I think Whitley just got the 48. I think Wright got Cabot. Maybe not. I thought for sure the 48 beat him out. We'll see once they get down the back straightaway. I think he is passing him. Maybe not. He's playing with me, Jeff. There he goes. Knew he beat him out.
Dangerous to pass down there. We might as well wait till we get to the backstretch. Let's get back and watch the insert replay there on how close that was on that exit.
We're gonna see that number 1 pit stall playing into the 48's favor to keep second position here, as Whitley's just gonna get it. I think Cabot has a little bit of a run. Well, that was closer for the lead than I thought. That number 1 stall really almost paid dividends, but he had the 17 pretty easily there. As it'll be, so Chad Klinger gets his EOL for causing the yellow. The top 5 will be Whitley, Wright, Cabot, Stravato, and Bailey Turner slots into 5th.
Two-time winner here in the 24, and we talked again about the points here at the beginning of the race, but bring him back up here on your screen. Look at how many wins. He's his second, I guess, tied for second with AJ Stravato for the most wins, second most wins this season. Then you have Jeff Wright, he has 6. He's just dominated at the beginning of this year. But then we started having other guys figure it out with strategy and the races going green and, you know, cautions not playing as much of a role. And then we had some tracks that Jeff Wright doesn't do well at, like Bristol on the season, New Hampshire. It's just tracks that you typically don't see the 48 up front. He was still able to mitigate the damage and sneak away some top 3s in some of those races. But it gave opportunities to some of these other guys that watched Jeff Wright get a massive lead. And now when we come into chase time, there's still some of those tracks on the schedule. You look at Iowa, that we're going to next week. I think that's going to change things. I think it might have some drivers that do better at these racetracks and put Jeff Wright in a bad spot.
I think after Iowa, I think it's definitely going to be Dover. We know we're going to see Adam Cabot there. Adam Cabot, virtually unbeatable when we go to Dover. So as long as the 17's able to make it, I think that's going to be a tough one for Wright to really compete at, because it's really not a track he's ran up front too much. I can remember one battle he had with AJ Stravado in the Outsiders race years ago. It got physical. He lost that battle, fell back a little bit at the end of that race as well. So Dover, as far as I remember, has not been too kind to the 48th. So, and obviously Iowa is going to be a different beast as well. But I definitely agree in the fact that he got some of these tracks coming up that he has not really been so great at. That's kind of why he had that 2-month drought after winning 5 races, and then he went about 2 months before getting another win. At Chicagoland. He, in that stretch that he didn't win, it was New Hampshire, Richmond, Kentucky was the 1.5 miles in that sequence, which was won by Seth Hatchell on fuel mileage, and then Watkins Glen, Michigan, Darlington also came up short at those. So a lot of his scheduled 1.5 miles played into his favor because 1.5 miles and Gen 4s go together pretty well. But Iowa and Dover, if any of those drivers below 48 in points, and by any of those drivers I mean all of them, if anyone wants to make a run at it for this title, it's going to have to be at these 2 tracks.
Down the backstretch, lights are out on the pace car. The 77 of Mark Whitley is going to lead them into turn 1. On fresh tires here, Jeff Wright doesn't have to play catch-up like he did last time after pitting. It'll be interesting to see how much these guys battle because they were going at it pretty hard before that yellow. I think we're going to see more of the same fireworks. Got Stravado in the second row with Adam Cabot, Bailey Turner, Ray Massey. Row number 3. Pace car pulls off this time by. Jeff Wright with a quick little blink out there, but stable nonetheless. And here we go, getting ready to go back green for chase race number 2 into the Geico restart zone. And green flags waving. We're back live and racing at Charlotte. And Bailey Turner with a block down the backstretch on Joseph McWhorter. McWhorter's going to get to the outside now. This is for the 3rd or 4th position, rather. Cabot gets into the back of Whitley. Whitley down the inside. Yellow flag is out.
Wow. Not what I was expecting, but the race of a lead. Got a little physical, maybe. Maybe. We'll see. That looked like it was contact.
Yeah, coming off of turn 4. So we're going to back this up. You can see Cabot gets a good run down the backstretch. There was that block on McWhorter by Turner, but he gets a good run down the backstretch here.
Whitley got loose as well. As I don't think he was on him when he spun. That was tough. We need a front end bumper or something. Let's see here. Entry. Definitely a tap there. There, but he lost it after.
He lost it after the contact, yeah.
Yeah, that was really weird. Good 360 too. Keeps it straight. Yeah, that was really, really odd. Just slapped around.
That's weird. Let's go on board one more time with the front of Cabot.
Yeah, that's the telltale sign. That's the best view I think we got. It really didn't look like he hit him to spin him around.
Yeah, I think air off the spoiler is really what came into factor there. I mean, there was contact twice. He was driving him hard, but I don't think that upset the car. I think it was air. Yeah,
I don't think that's EOL worthy for Cabot. He did tap him maybe twice, definitely once, but that's not why the 77 spun. He just kind of got aero loose and just looped it around at a 360. So I don't think he should get an EOL, but we'll see here as he will get the lead out of that, and that puts Wright second, Turner third, Warder fourth. Now it's Bell's found his way into the top 5. AJ Stravado did not have a good restart or hit sequence, so he's back to 7th, and obviously the 77 hits for a fresh set of tires as he's now down a set because of that spin. And I was going to talk, if we went green, because obviously we didn't there, I was going to talk about how it was kind of an odd position for fuel. It looked like the fuel was only going about 37 laps the most, but that restart was going to be with about 80 laps to go, which would really that would have put the drivers about 5 to 10 laps outside their window to make it on one stop. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise for Mark Whitley to get some extra fuel in. As saying that, he'll come down to top off once more. As we get 2 to green there? I couldn't tell. I don't think we did. No, we did not. Oh, we might have gotten 2 to green. Didn't get 1 to green.
Yeah, it's 2 to green now. Adam Cabot going to start on the inside. These guys already kind of doubled for the 1 to green, but let's bring somebody up while we got the time here. Let's see if we can bring up the 73 of Joseph McWhorter. Get a quick chat with him.
Let's see. Where is this guy?
Do we have a 73 of McWhorter in here?
I don't think he's avoiding us. He is not in this Discord. How rude of him.
Okay,
What
he's
a
sharing
shame.
his camera. Let's see. Do we have another guy? We got Brandon Wallace we can talk to here. Let's bring up the 99.
Oh yeah, let's bring up the 99. Hey, you want him? I think you can interview him. You seem happy to interview Mr. Wallace. Yeah, let's get him in here right now.
Brandon Wallace, it's Bradley Cooper and Connor Horn in the V-Speed booth. Do you got a copy?
I'm sorry. Yes, sir. I got you guys.
Hey, we were watching you. You're just outside the top 10 here. You started in 20th position, so you've went up a little bit. You're up 6 spots here for this restart. Is this car just insanely loose on fresh tires?
Oh, it's like nuts, man. It's crazy.
We've seen you battling through the field here. You're coming back down pit road. Is fuel going to be a factor?
We're 75 to go and get about 35, 36 laps of tank, so we're a couple, 2 or 3 laps short.
Well, it's looking like maybe if you stretch it out, maybe there's a possibility you can pull off what we pulled off at New Hampshire with the
Yeah,
fuel
man. We
strategy.
do a little hook and sinker, maybe, you know. But other than that, I don't have the raw speed those guys up front have.
Well, good luck, Brandon. It was good to talk to you. Maybe we'll get to talk to you post-race.
Oh, 10-4. Thank you, guys. Thanks for the broadcast.
There's number 99, and Brandon Wallace currently in the 13th position, now coming in to top off of fuel. So he
Yeah.
said 35 laps. I mean, that's going to be close for one
That's-
stop.
Yeah, we saw the most any driver go on the very first run. It was lap 37. And I think everyone else started to realize that fuel was going to be tight, which is, I think, why Adam Cabot came down to top off from the race lead. So, thought Whitley was going to have an advantage. Cabot's going to take that advantage as well. It's going to leave guys like Jeff Wright and Bailey Turner, who will be on the front row, in maybe a worse position fuel-wise if this goes green. So, Cabot really gambling on a green race here.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of a gamble, but I think in hindsight, Cabot's going to fight, probably get back up to 6th, 7th position here if we have a short little stint. I don't think this hurts him too bad. He's only dropped back to 12th position. That's not too hard to overcome.
Yeah, I don't think so as well. As we'll get into the Geico restart zone. We're ready to go again. Jeff Wright back in the lead. Bailey Turner second. Green once again at Charlotte. Just closing in on halfway.
Alex Bell to the outside. Looks like he almost got into the side of the 24, who's going to get second position away from him. And down the backstretch, it's Joseph McWhorter all over the back bumper. Bell kind of fell off really quickly there. It looked like he was spinning the tires on the start, got beside Bailey Turner, and then just got loose on the outside.
Yeah, just couldn't maintain it as he'll fall back to 5th behind Stravato. As the battle for 2nd will be nothing at this point. Turner 2nd, McWhorter up into 3rd at this point. And wow, Sturgill really sideways out of turn number 2. They're going to go 3 wide. They're going to split them. Trejo and Jonathan Smith. Really the first 3 wide we've seen all night. Cabot's in behind that, trying to find somewhere to go. But oh, 72's loose. And he somehow didn't hit anyone or anything. Whitley maybe gave him a tap, but they keep it straight somehow.
And you know Whitley is trying to chase down that 17. From Whitley's point of view, that could have felt like he got turned. So, be interesting to see if he gets to the back bumper, that 17, what he's going to say about it.
Oh, if it was me, I'd be using it as motivation, whether he hit me or not. Wow, Nick Starling just made a wild move on Max Cost in the background. But if I was a 77, whether he hit me or not, I'm going to act like he hit me and race him like he hit me. Just use it as extra fuel, extra motivation. But you've seen that 17 kind of get away at this point. Eddie Trejo in between him and the 70.
So running that high line for the 17. He came down and topped off with fuel. It's like I said, he's going to work his way up probably into the top 7th, 8th position. He's already up to 9th. Ray Massey now getting a pass on Alex Bell for 6th. He's going to make clear of it. Michael Sturgill, the next one in line. And Bell is just struggling hard here tonight.
Yeah, he's on the. What we've seen the top side work, but it has not worked short run that well. I think Adam Cabot really showed us that last run, the top lane, really not the place to be until the long run, and really not much of a long run with the 80% fuel tanks. You get outside lap 25, then it kind of plays into your advantage if you can run that top line. But right now, Alex Bell just kind of stuck up there.
And just clear of the 73. It looked like he was, but he's not. And McWhorter gets down on the apron, actually loses the position. He had the nose in there into 3 and 4, but he got too low. It's a pretty good pinch there by Bailey.
McWhorter says over the radio he won't do it again. I'd like to see what his response is to that, but it definitely looked like Bailey Turner kind of got stuck. He didn't know if he was clear or not, so then he kind of half committed, as these two haven't had good things tonight either. McWhorter and Stravado have had their differences tonight as well. McWhorter against the world tonight, I would say, as he starts to lose some ground at the 24 and fall back into the clutches of that 33, as there's still not many other movements at the back. Bell is still going backwards. Mark Whitley now under 9.
Going the outside, AJ Stravado in the 4th position. Doesn't get a very good run there out of 2, but like you said, McWhorter against the world. Looks like he's kind of struggled beginning of this race. We saw him get loose, fell all the way back to 18th, now back up here into the top 3. And they're not showing him any love right now.
No, not at all, but he is going to get back to the rear bumper of Bailey Turner. We'll see what he does with the rear bumper of Bailey Turner. As we've seen bumpers used already tonight, as look at the run through the center he got. He painted that line very well, no pun intended, but it was fun nonetheless. Right back to the bumper, trying to pass that 24 of Turner back. That is for second, as Jeff Wright starts to get away further than we've seen him get away tonight. Just over half a second.
So Turner, he's starting to put some moves down. He's starting to hold those lines up. Let's see what he does here in the 1 and 2. Same thing as before. On center,
Get him loose.
73 gets a really good run.
I feel like they're really just playing games with each other at this point. McWhorter got as close
Ray
to the
Massey
bumper
in the
as he
wall.
could. Oh yeah, Massey hit it hard. I saw the 17 take evasive action. He was 7th. No damage done, but you get to that wall, it's like glue. And here comes McWhorter. It's going to be AstroTurf trying to pass the 24 of Bailey Turner. He does get back to the inside.
We're passing the grass possibly here for the 73, all the way to the bottom in 1 and 2. This is where he got his drive off last time, but not going to be able to get that same exit. And Turner's going to hold on to it one more time.
Oh, big send into the corner. Oh, maybe
Almost some
too much.
contact. He's getting loose.
Oh man, he's driving hard to get to the inside of Turner. But here comes Stravado. He's going to get a run off of that. He looks slow. McWhorter going to block it. Not really, but Stravado goes back to the top. Still in the background, Mark Whitley. I think Massey really checked up Cabot more than he wanted to. Whitley was able to get back by the 17.
So Whitley up to 7th position after getting spun or spinning himself. Well, however you wanted to dictate that. I guess it's up to you what you feel, but I feel like he spun on his own. Now works his way back up into the 7th position, chasing down Michael Sturgill for 6th. Joshua Banks up to 5th spot here now.
I didn't really note that, but he's worked his way up to that top position as Cabot just kind of got a boot out of the way from the 0-9. But I'm wondering if Cabot's starting to try to save fuel or something, because it didn't look natural in the turn number 1 that time. But I don't think he is. I don't see why he would after topping off. I think if anyone's going to start saving, it might be the leader, Jeff Wright. As
Well, even with a top off, I think they were about a lap or 2 short, so he might be able to save enough. It's going to be close. I heard Brandon Wallace talking about it, that they were going to be a little short, but you know, you run these pace laps, they're really only burning maybe a 10th or 2 of fuel. So you're really not getting that much when you come down pit road. And you're actually burning a lot of it too, because you come out on the apron of the track, catching back up to the pace car. That burns a lot too.
McWhorter again. Yeah, we're going to see the fuel really be tight. We've seen some fuel races this season. We're going to get another one, but it's getting the battle for second. McWhorter got back to the inside. You can see at the top of the screen on that onboard, washed up the track again, but Bailey Turner just gets enough of a run to maintain that position, as we might have another pinch play on our hands here.
Ooh, it's close. It's close. Maybe some aero looseness here for the 24.
73 is loose too. Travato at this point, I think he's like, you know what? I see where this is going. You can just go. I'm fine. Have fun. I'll try to avoid.
It's just hopefully he's hanging back far enough when one of them do bounce off the wall, because these guys have been right on each other. The pinching, the passes in the grass. McWhorter once by Bailey Turner bad, and while this is all going on, Jeff Wright has pulled out 1.2 seconds.
Yeah, this
Furthest
is
lead
big.
he's had.
Yeah, excuse me. This is, oh wow, they're both sideways on each other's bumpers. This is big. Even those guys topped off on fuel, Jeff Wright, he has a gap to work with if he wants to try to save at any point. 1.2 seconds. It is growing every lap that Bailey Turner and McWhorter battle, and no one else can get by. It slows them so far down. They were over a tenth slower than the 48 last time by. So this is exactly what Jeff Wright needs.
Starting to stretch back out here between McWhorter, but we say that he runs right back up to the 24.
Washed up there.
I don't know. It just seems like he's got a better half of the track than the 24, and the 24 gets it back on the other side.
I think the dirty air starting to play a little bit of a factor. McWhorter was able to really charge the center of the corner when the tires were a little bit more fresh, but now it just doesn't seem like he has that same jolt in the center of the corner that he did a little while ago.
Checking
Oh,
back
he's
in
gonna
with-
pit.
He's coming down
McWhorter's
pit
gonna
road.
This is very, very early. This might be a commitment to 2 more stops to the end. No way you can make it from here.
Yeah, he's definitely committed to 2 stops. He's going to run this out probably to lap 110, and then he'll pit with about 30 to go.
See if anyone else commits to 2 stops, or if everyone's going to just try to tough it out, whether they topped off or not. There's not many drivers that topped off last yellow to even think about it, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Just like kind of like Kentucky, but I think it's going to be a lot tighter for those guys if the order is out and away.
So we had a lap car, the 89 of Austin Bulk. I believe that's how you pronounced it earlier. He's down 5 spots. He's a lap down. He's trying to get one of those back. But Jeff Wright was running alongside with him there for a while and lost a little bit of ground to the 24.
Actually lost a decent amount. It was about 2 or 3 tenths there. As now the 89 giving some dirty air to the 48 until he pulls fully away. And now second to about 6th or 7th, including Chad Klinger. He's 2 laps down, 1 lap down, excuse me. Kind of sitting there right now is, whoa, Whitley almost got into the back of the 09 there, entering the corner. Now all these guys are trying to catch the 48 when they see him vulnerable, but it's going to be much harder than that because the 48 pulled out a 10th back on 24 Bailey Turner. It's actually more closer to 2 tenths back. As also, Stravato, and we saw the 73 pit, but Stravato is back up to the 3rd position.
Yeah, so Stravato all over the back bumper of Bailey Turner. And Turner's done a great job here tonight playing defense. Hasn't let anyone past him, but on the flip side, no one's been able to get up there and challenge the 48 for the lead. Side by side, just behind Stravato, it looks like Whitley is into the mix now.
Oh man, they almost came together, Stravato and Turner. Stravato on top, Bailey Turner didn't want to give it to him, but he had no choice but to give him that top side. As Stravato's going to go to the top, this is for second. He's going to have to run like he had earlier when he tried to get this position, but kind of lost it on exit there. Him and Bailey Turner going to be even as Chad Klinger just kind of has some fresher tires as 09 does. He's trying to navigate by these guys smoothly. I say smoothly, he's looking 3 wide middle. He gets back in line.
Yeah, he's keeping the air on the nose. I don't think he wanted to get in between those guys, just wanted to keep the nose clean and help him drive in. Now Turner falls back to the 4th position with the 09. Actually, 09 being scored a lap down here.
Yes, he's a lap down. He got the lucky dog last yellow, and he got fresher tires on the last caution as well. That's why he's driving through these guys. But trying to get his lap back the hard way, which is going to be very tough to do, but still the fastest, one of the fastest drivers on track when he's in clean air. He's got to get back to clean there. He'll look under Stravado, I'm sure, here. So Turner back to third. Here comes Sturgill with a big move, trying to get that position.
So this is for the third spot, and the 24 of Turner trying to hold him off. Whitley now back into the picture. Remember, he was leading just a few moments ago, about 15 laps ago. And that big battle he had with Jeff Wright turned into a battle with Adam Cabot, who is kind of in this picture, but side by side with the 73 on much fresher tires here.
Yeah, he's not fresher by a lot, but he's still about a second faster than these guys. Trejo's into the wall in turn one, but he keeps it straight. Not a big hit for him. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. All these cars clumped up in this type of battle. Don't want to cause a caution if you're McWhorter. It's the worst thing you can do here as Ray Massey pits in the background from 8th, but he's got to be very careful getting through on fresher tires as here goes a 77. Whitley going for 3rd on Sturgill. And Stravado's still battling Chad Klinger, not letting him go very easily. That's gonna hurt McWhorter's time here, trying to get by all these guys. Stravado and Klinger made contact there, as Sturgill's gonna pit in the midst of all this. McWhorter's still got nowhere to go. Oh, he's gonna look middle. This is gonna be dicey, but he's gonna make it work. That is awesome, and exactly what he needed to do as well.
Yeah, he doesn't have time for these guys to figure it out.
Ray Massey off of pit road, like we said. Sturgill's in, lap 92. Another two drivers definitely won't make it to the end, getting to the 2 stop later.
Oh, the
Stravado!
33's around.
Instant alt F4.
He can't be happy.
No, that was... I'm shocked Klinger was even still... I'm shocked Stravado was still racing him, to be honest.
Well, I mean, Klinger's trying to get his lap back. I get it. But at the same time, Klinger's also a lap down, and so it's kind of like one of those rage moments when you get a lap down car next to you, and that's what turns you. I don't know.
Yeah, so we'll look on the replay, I'm sure. But I mean, Klinger caught them. He started at the tail end. He caught them. He was passing them. I mean, it's on Stravado. I mean, you'll argue he shouldn't have been racing, but 09 caught him, was battling with him. Stravado was like the only one who did not let him go. And, you know, out of turn 4, the 09 hangs on the right rear. And Stravado's not clear as he comes up. And hard hit into that dog leg, too. As we'll see if Klinger wants to claim that himself. But that really hurts Ray Massey and Sturgill. And, Jose McWhorter, I think, is the lucky dog, but that's still going to hurt his chances, too. Everyone else gets to pit. Jeff Wright's the winner out of that because he doesn't have to worry about fuel anymore, because I think it's universally 1 stop from here regardless.
So, Adam Cabot, did he get speeding on pit road? Or did he miss his box? Something happened here with the 17.
Trying to look. Maybe he got speeding on entry. That's
Not entirely sure.
doesn't look like. I mean, he waited. It took a while before the wheels went up, so that was weird. I don't know if that was a penalty or a glitch or what. But it's like this. It's like his virtual pit crew waited to put the tires on, like they had a stop and go, like a 5-second hold, like you'd have an F1. It was weird, but any track position he gained, he lost right back.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure this out. Maybe he forgot to put tires back on and then clicked them on while he was in the stall. Is that a thing? I don't know.
Your guess is good as mine. I don't know.
Because that car did not go up on jacks until after everyone else was leaving the stalls. All right, well, I mean, we've seen it all here tonight. It's been fireworks. We've seen side-by-side for the lead. We've seen 3 wide with lap cars. We've seen guys fighting from 17th place all the way back to the front. Races had a variety of different things, but in the midst of all this, you're watching the second chase race here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Saturday Night Racing League getting ready to conclude its race with about 40 laps to go when we go green. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back right after this.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
We're back here. Me and Bradley, while we were gone, we realized 2 things. One, it's Chase Race 3, not Chase Race number 2. Second thing we realized, we need to bring the noise early on here. We are just over 40 laps to go as Jeff Wright takes the green flag for this restart. Mark Whitley second. We haven't brought the noise all night, so what the heck? We got a restart here. Let's bring the noise right now. Oh, we got a big wreck. Cabot's in it. Cabot and Jonathan Smith both keep piled in. And we won't bring the noise this time as one of the big contenders of the night's been taken out. Oh my goodness. On the restart.
That was a big crash there. Also, the 72 of Jonathan Smith involved in that. Let's get back on the replay and figure out what happened to these boys.
I noticed there was a stack up here, like behind Trejo, and Jonathan Smith got loose and overcorrected. Hard hit. And Austin Bulk had nowhere to go. And gave this. Oh, and Chad Klinger. I didn't even see him. He was involved as well. So
yeah, he ripped the nose clean off that car.
Yeah, terrible night for the 09. He's had nothing go his way tonight. Just as we were about to bring the noise, as the track was blocked, just too late to get to the top.
Was
so
Austin
that is
Volk that hit Cabot?
Yes, it was Volk who hit him second. You see right here, just didn't get down the track in time. 4-car crash on the restart. Still, I didn't really see why it happened. It looked like It looked like everyone was stacked up behind Trejo. Well, no, we did see what happened. The 72 got loose, but like
yeah, 72
it's
got
really
really
loose. Of the stack up. It's like they stacked up big here for whatever reason. It's like Trejo just didn't go. The 94 Starling coming up might have affected it as well. That is definitely a shame. It looked like Cabot he had a real good shot at taking this one from the 48, but unless they can do full repairs of that 17, I think that's going to be chances at the win over, as a lot of the field came down that time, including McWhorter and Mark Whitley, I think, to top off, because this does put us close to not having to stop for fuel to the end of this race. We start with about maybe 38, 39 laps to go, but it is still right on the edge of that window that we've been talking about.
Yeah, I think they'll come back down a second time. So, I mean, in hindsight, you might as well just come down once. I think that's what the leaders will do. If any one of these guys has a spotter in their ear right now, they know they're close on that window, I tell my guy to come down. Come down, top off with fuel. If you got another set of tires, hell, take those. Take those, that last set. I think that's the move here. Because we could go green from here on out. Come down, get those tires. If you're 6th, 7th place on back, you might as well do it.
Yeah, that's honestly the other thing to think about. How many tires do these drivers have left at all? They came in tonight with 6, so 5 extra sets you could put on. You know, they pit under green, then under yellow, and then maybe some under previous yellow as well. So some of these guys might only have 1 set left. Not sure if we know. Well, unfortunately, we don't know fully unless we went to every driver and asked. But a lot of these drivers, they have to be down to their final set. Some drivers might even be out of sets if they pit here. So this will be interesting as another big chunk of drivers come down to top off.
Yeah, I think they're going to just keep topping off the fuel and try to pull this out as far as they can. They're going to go back green with about 38 to go, 39 to go. That's going to be close. That's really stretching it. I think if they clutch it here for maybe 5 or 6 laps, they'll stretch it out far enough easily. But you won't see anybody. We still have the top 5 that hasn't came back down for 6 laps, 7 laps. And so it kind of surprises me that these guys have elected to stay out here with the rest of the field coming down twice. They could have afforded to come down and top off.
I am kind of surprised by that. I thought Jeff Wright was kind of out of the mud of probably being at a fuel disadvantage with the yellow that we got at lap 94. And then we get another quick yellow, and this puts us in a position to restart right on the edge of that fuel window. So we thought he was out of trouble. Now he's back into trouble. He hasn't worked his way into trouble. It just kind of found him at this stage of the race, as this time by will take officially 40 laps to go. As we'll see if this is our 1 lap to green. We'll see if we'll double up. Alex Bell will be on the outside or inside. We'll see what Jeff Wright wants to pick here. He does have the option to do that, but saw in an earlier restart, Bell didn't get going very well, as he does pick the outside, as Bell will be on the bottom. As we saw earlier, that 15 did not get a good launch at all, fell back immediately, so we'll see if that happens again. As we had 1 more driver come down to top off, as I think Cabot, he's still repairing damage. 17 looks pretty good. See if it runs good though, as I think I'm trying to look at the other driver that actually topped off. I think it was Max Cost. He could be a threat here.
Yeah, Max Cost back in 13th position, now topping off with fuel. These guys got to get caught back up. But I think that's the move. You come down here, top off with fuel. If we go green from here on out, one of these guys that can afford to not have to clutch it at all, absolutely could go up there and snag this race.
Yeah, that's a big advantage too. Jeff Wright, I think, is going to have to save clutch and coast it a little bit if we get a run to the end. Guys like McWhorter and Whitley, they really might not have to at all. So that's going to play huge dividends as we come to this possibly final 39 lap run. Is talking about when we came back from our previous break. Yes, this is chase race number 3. This is the halfway point of a 6-race chase. There's 140 laps here at Charlotte, 39 laps to go, and we still need to do a Bring the Noise. I keep wanting to call it Sound Surge. Need to Bring the Noise. We'll see if we can make it a few corners and do it once again here. It's going to be Jeff Wright, Alex Bell in the front row in the Geico restart zone momentarily. Up and into the gas. Let's bring the noise right here. Jeff Wright leads us to green.
So again with Alex Bell, and that was Bringing the Noise brought to you by Harpoon Design, but Alex Bell falling again out of the top 5. He's fallen like a rock. Eddie Trejo now to the inside. He's going to put a little block on him, but Trejo's got a good run here coming out of 2.
Yeah, Bell he let Banks by very clearly. Then just could not defend the 24 or the 90 of Sturgill. Just not having the pace tonight that we're accustomed to. Usually he has on the long run, but he has struggled with short run this season, but doesn't look like he has much of anything tonight. But through the chaos, he's been able to stay up at the front through all this as Jeff Wright clear for the lead, but Joshua Banks is trying to close in.
So Banks now about 0.2 of a second back in the 21 of
still.
Trejo. Wrecks down the backstretch. We're
caution,
still
there it
green,
is.
no caution.
There
Yeah,
it
the
is,
yellow does
caution's
come
out.
out.
Chad Klinger thought he was involved. He has a lot of damage.
Now, Klinger was involved in that wreck earlier, I believe.
My goodness. Oh, him and Whitley just hit under yellow. I wonder if he's mad. I think it was manually thrown.
Let's go back and see that.
Yeah, I think he was mad at Klinger for throwing the yellow. But it was a spin. I mean, that's weird because it was not a manual yellow earlier when Klinger spun. But we'll go back to what did bring out the yellow. Eddie Trejo kind of just spun, kind of like Chad Klinger did earlier out of turn number 2. I think he did tap the wall. We'll see here what happened to Trejo. Just gonna slide into the inside. And I think he just does tap the wall there, but he didn't hit the opening, which could have been much worse.
Yeah, just a little tip there on the right rear. He should be okay. But Trejo was in the 6th position when this happened. Unfortunate that 21 was having a pretty good day.
And we're talking about the 48 kind of getting thrown into danger fuel-wise for the second time, but he's also been taken out of it for the second time, as now we're definitely in our window to just need a little bit of fuel and you're good to the end. Maybe the possibility of Green White Checkered would throw that into, kind of into a loop, but for sure, schedule distance, you're good from here, as a few drivers just topping off. Ray Massey, Nick Starling out before the 48, as well as costing Mark Whitley get out before Jeff Wright as well. I think Whitley also just took fuel only, so some fuel only here. They also have some drivers stay out. Joshua Banks, Joseph McWhorter.
Yeah, these two stay out, and then you have the 48 who took tires. Max Cost just topping off with fuel. I'd say the fresh tires is probably the move to make there, because you're not losing too many positions that you won't gain back with having fresher tires. I know we didn't go green much, but if it does go green from here on out, that 7-8 laps that we did go green there, I think that's going to be enough fall off that the 48's not going to have much of a problem picking them off. We'll have to wait and see, though.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, but I do think that Jeff Wright's still going to really be in a good spot to take this win and take the lead back first off those guys. But I do want to note Adam Cabot is still alive. They repaired that car. The new damage model, you're able to repair it pretty well, even when it gets banged up. At 17, I see a little crinkle on the rear end. Front end looks virtually untouched now at this point. He's going to restart 11th, one of those drivers on fresh tires. And he is not done quite yet. Same thing for Mark Whitley, but he did take fuel only. But those three were the guys, when it went green at the very beginning, the first half of this race, fully green, those were the three that were battling hard. And that great battle that was broken up by our first caution of the night at that time. See if we get that again once they try to work through traffic, as I believe next time by we should get the one to go.
Yeah, if this race goes green, I think we're going to see more of Wright, Whitley, Cabot up towards the front. Even Bailey Turner, I think. But Turner was kind of like there in second, but defensively driving to hold second. I don't think he has the speed to stay up there in the top three. We'll have to wait and see, though.
Yeah, I think the same thing. He was just holding off McWhorter for dear life until eventually Travato got by both of them on fresh tires, and then obviously the incident with Klinger and Travato happened to kind of bring us onto a string of yellows here. So we'll see who can, if anyone can take down this 48. He's got a ways to go. He'll be the first one on fresh tires at 7th, And he's just going to have to pick these guys off, whether they're 2 wide or 3 wide, just find a way by. You also got to note Max Cost after all this. Ooh, he's right. I was about to say he doesn't need to top off. Starling will pit, though, so that'll move everyone up a position. But Starling pits from the very front. As going to note Max Cost, who I think is going to restart 4th now. Play a strategy of fuel only to get up into the top 5.
Let's put those points back up on your screen because we were talking about it earlier. Since this is a 3rd chase race, that makes it even more of a dire situation. And you see some of the drivers that are ahead of Max Cost in points not having good nights. So this could be a situation where Cost can get up here in the top 5 finish. He could end up passing Chad Klinger or AJ Stravado.
We'll see if he can get the Stravado. This is a real bad hit for Stravado because he was one of those guys I thought could get closer to Jeff Wright, especially tonight and the next 2 weeks with the short tracks coming up. But I think this is essentially going to kill him and probably take him out of serious championship contention no matter what way you slice it. But yeah, Max Cost definitely a shot to pass 2 or 3 drivers if this played right. He's got points on Sturgill as they run right now. Obviously, Klinger, Stravado up there. We'll see how this works out for him.
So on the outside of Joshua Banks, it's Joseph McWhorter. These guys stayed out 15 laps on the stint. And Joshua Banks is going to be close on fuel. Can he run it out to the very end if we stay green? The 48 of Jeff Wright just outside the top 5. He's outside of the 77 of Mark Whitley. And we saw that battle earlier in this race where those guys ran side by side for about 10 laps. Here we go, back underway. Green flag up in the air. That flagman's going to wave it. And we're racing again for about 30 laps to go. And 3 wide here with Jeff Wright and Bailey Turner. Adam Cabot in the middle. Wright very loose on the outside.
Oh, they're all very loose. That was not a good restart for Jeff Wright. He's going to lose a lot of spots here. Cabot's going to get back in front of him here. As battle for the lead, not much of it. Banks is clear. McWhorter to 2nd. And now Mark Whitley's under Ray Massey for 3rd.
So a fight for 3rd position. You see Max Cost on the outside. He's still in the top 5. Now losing to Bailey Turner as they go into 1 and 2. The fresh tires starting to poke through.
Oh, Whitley, big wiggle out of turn 2, but he kept it straight. He's up in the 3rd now, all alone in front of Massey. Turner 5th, but that battle side by side, that's Cabot and Cost for 6th. Max Cost, good job on the top so far. Not giving Cabot much to work with. As really big wiggle for the 17, but he gets clear. Cost had a big moment out of turn 4. Wright got stuck behind him. Sturgill's clear. Now Wright goes to the bottom to try to pass him, but big restart for Adam Cabot to get back into maybe a little bit of an advantage here.
I'm in the back of my mind the whole time. I'm shouting right now. Max Cost, hold it together, buddy. Hold it together. Keep it up there. You've got the speed. You've been having the speed all night. Just hold your line. He's holding on Jeff Wright right now on the outside for 8th position, but it looks like Max is overdriving it, trying to hang with him when he's getting back to the throttle too early.
Well, also, just remember, to the guys who's passing him now, wow, big wiggle.
Fresh tires, yeah.
Yeah, the tire, oh wow, Bell almost doored him there like he did to the 72 earlier. The tire advantage at this point, tire disadvantage at this point is really going to play into a factor more at this point. We're going to equalize in about 20, maybe 30 laps, but it's going to be a little bit of a struggle right now for him to maintain. But once again, he is keeping it up on the top pretty well. He loses most of his time on the corner exits, as once again, he'll lose a position to Alec Bell on the corner exit.
Yeah, and this car has always been, if you can't figure out the exit and being sideways, you're not going to have a good time in the Gen 4. Joshua Banks back to the lead. Well, in the lead for the first time tonight. He's led 8 laps now. Holding on just over just over a tenth of a second on Joseph McWhorter, who's starting to peek the nose in. Remember, McWhorter has a really good drive in the center of these corners. Let's see if he can get it here. Big run there. You see it.
Oh yeah, Banks had nothing to challenge there. Warder, we're talking about, he doesn't have real tires at all, but
here comes Whitley.
He has some Banks. Yeah, Whitley's gonna get to the bottom. Banks has nothing to fight with. I think a real issue for Banks, I don't think he can make it to the end on his fuel tank with how much earlier he hit. So He might have to really hard save if it goes green. Porter and Whitley clear. Bailey Turner's going to follow both of them through. And now here comes more drivers with fresh tires. Turner, I believe, is one of those who has fresh tires. Didn't know that before, but he is the first one, I believe, on fresh tires, because Whitley only topped off. Adam Cabot's following him through, just now getting by Banks. And then here comes Michael Sturgill, and then you have to get to Jeff Wright, who lost so much time on that restart as Bailey Turner's all over the back bumper of the 77.
Yeah, Turner's the first car on fresh tires, I think. Or is it Whitley? I can't. Yeah, I think it's Turner.
Whitley popped off.
Yeah.
He did not take tires.
A lot of damage repair there in that 17. He's definitely up to speed here. Impressive drop hill for the 77. He's holding off Turner pretty well.
And yes, I
Oh,
confirm Turner.
he's
Oh, wow. Oh,
wiggling
man.
off of 4.
And yes, Turner is on fresh tires. The two in front of him are not, so he has to. Oh, they doored. I think Cabot hit the wall entering as well, but he kept it straight as Turner battling hard on the top side. Something we haven't seen since we got the flurry of yellows. The top side coming back as we close in on 20 to go. 24 trying to use it to his advantage as these two almost hit doors again.
Going into 3 and 4 side by side, really close. Let's see the exit here.
Dead even.
Dead even with Whitley. That's impressive with the 77
2 by
Cabot.
2. I mean, look at this. Oh my goodness. It's a back at Talladega with their 2x2. Whitley to the bottom. Now Bailey Turner goes to the very high line. He'll get a huge run. Whitley's 2 sideways to get a run off. Oh, McWhorter, look at him weaving. Him and Bailey have history tonight. Which way does he block the 24? They'll both go to the bottom. McWhorter's up the track.
Oh, 77's going to lose it.
Oh.
Slide up.
He's gonna spin
lose
again.
it.
No yellow yet. Now it's out. Turn 4 is not his friend tonight.
I could see him losing it. I'm surprised he
Yeah.
held on to it as long as he did.
Yep. He did it a corner before. He did it the lap before, and he got away with it. He did not get away with that twice. And I think, once again, Cabot's got even more damage because he hit the 77. He definitely hit the 77 that time. It didn't cause the yellow. I've lost count on the cautions we've had tonight.
6, I believe.
All right. It's more than I thought it would be. Get the instant replay here.
He
as
chased
just
it all the way up to the
sideways
outside
there.
wall. I think Sturgill helped finish it off.
Oh, yeah. Sturgill definitely hit him, but there's nothing he could do at that point. You've seen that so much this season. Someone gets loose, they slide up in front of you. You have nothing you can do at that point, as we'll see from his view. You know, he's clear. He's going to get to his right rear. Nope, Whitley loose. He just can't react in that time. The Cabot
Yeah,
did hit him
he
really
lifted.
hard.
He did lift off the throttle there. There's just nothing he could do.
Yeah,
Listen to him lift just as the 77 comes up.
yeah. It's just a terrible situation. You can see the hit Cabot took there to that front end of the 17. All that damage repair out the window. The right front's pretty dinged up now, and depending on the tire sets you have left, I don't know if you're going to be able to pit once again, but it looks like we are going to get, maybe they do have some sets left. Everyone's going to come in 20 to go.
So I got a question. When did the 35 of Banks fall back to 7th?
On that run, he was really falling back very quickly. I saw him fall back to 4th, and then I think the 48 passed him. We'll see if everyone is taking tires here. We'll see if anyone wants to take 2 tires. Interested to see. It's going to be a short run to the end. It's going to be close to what we saw at Vegas at the very beginning of the season, but I don't think anyone took 2. As Wright is not going to get out very early at all. He might have lost and still stayed in 5th. But Cabot does not repair that damage. McWhorter is out first with fresh tires.
That's interesting. I guess I never saw the 35 fall back. I thought he was ahead of that battle between Turner and Whitley. I never saw Banks fall out of the top 3. I guess I was paying so much attention to what Whitley was doing. I don't know. Because him and Turner were battling really hard, and then I was impressed by that. I guess I never saw the 35 through all that.
Yeah, he's He was really. I still think he was having to save. I really don't think he was going to make it to the end, but I think that caution definitely saved him as we'll get a restart with maybe 16 laps of racing to go. It is going to be a mad dash to the finish, and we thought we knew who was going to win it. Our three players were the 48 and the 77, and then Adam Cabot. But now, really none of those guys are looking that great as far as racing for the win. Warder's leading. You got to go back to Cabot, who's the highest of those three, who's in fourth. And then he's got right front damage, so how competitive will he be on this restart, as I believe next time by will be 1 to green. Then you get to Jeff Wright, who's back to fifth after a poor restart to caution before. And then Mark Whitley, who's been so fast tonight, driven through the field twice to get to the front, but spun out of turn 4 both times. No damage, really, but I think at this point it's too little too late to get back through the field a third time.
Yeah, Whitley's been able to do that, but it was over the course of, a solid 20 laps or so. That's cutting a little short there. He might make it back to the top 5. I think that is possible. You have a lot of guys in front of him that have struggled here tonight. But I foresee that he'll probably... Max Cost looked like he might be out of tires for the night, because he came back down pit road 7.9 seconds, but he's still in 13th place. I guess I don't understand. He got so far behind there.
Very far behind, indeed. Just not the run he needed at all, as we'll get 1 to green. This time by, still anyone's race, I think, for drivers inside the top 10. If I had to guess, I still think Eddie Trejo, he spun once or twice tonight. He could probably still win this race. It's just been a wacky night, and it's not really something we expected. I think the mile and a halves are usually the formalities of the series. You kind of know what to expect. Is really the only oddball we've had this season in mile and a halves was Vegas. And maybe you can count Kentucky in it with fuel mileage, but it was a pretty straightforward race. But this has been wild. But honestly, now that I think about it, Charlotte, as far as mile and a halves go, as we look at our stats tonight, 9 lead changes, 6 cautions. It's pretty nice if I do say so myself. But for some reason, no matter what series, Charlotte, the mile and a half, is always a cluster. For whatever reason, everyone goes wild here. We do see yellows out of the ordinary, but that's only something I just remember, because we have seen this before. Just one of those tracks that people go wild at.
Yeah, it's normally a pretty peaceful race. You have long green flag runs. Here tonight, though, we've seen fireworks, and that might have something to do with it being chase race number 3. These guys are looking at the points, seeing who they have to beat, who they have to match, and that all gets into your head when you come in here. It's going to be Joseph McWhorter, Bailey Turner, Michael Sturgill, Adam Cabot, and Jeff Wright, the top 5. Alex Bell, Joshua Banks, Caleb Weekly, Ray Massey, and Brandon Wallace, the top 10. Still have about 15 cars left out here on the racetrack. Austin Bulk is going to park it for the night. Jonathan Smith down on pit road. He's also 25 laps down. But the flagman has the green flag up in the air. And we're back live and racing. About 25 laps, or 15 laps to go, rather.
Oh, Turner really chopped the nose of Sturgill there to get clear for second. 17 up to the top immediately. The 90 really sliding the tires in the middle, getting split. He does get split, lose all his track position, but he keeps the car in one piece. Cabot up to third with a bent right front fender. Chops the nose of the 48 of Jeff Wright, excuse me.
So here comes Banks, trying to work his way back up to the lead. Now has fresh tires. They're guaranteed to make it on fuel from here on out. This is Alex Bell trying to fight him for 5th spot right now on the outside. Almost some contact on there in the exit.
Two teammates going at it. They were very close. We were talking about fuel for like 60 laps. Now we don't have to talk about it anymore. These guys are all good. Nothing to do except just race it out and go for it. McWhorter leads. Him and Turner. Oh, Bell slides to the apron. Caution out. We had a wreck in the back as well. I think
that was the 99.
Yeah, 2 separate cautions there. 2 separate incidents. I think the 99 brought out the yellow.
Heavy damage on the left side of the 99.
Yeah, big hit. Big hit for the 99. I don't think the 15 hit anything. I thought he was taking the rope for a second. That was wild. You see what happened to Brandon Wallace in the background.
Eddie Trejo gets into the back of him.
Yeah, up there's Alex Bell.
There's Bell going through the grass. So let's see what happened to Bell as we come back on our instant replay.
Yeah, Trejo just kind of ran into a 99 there, but here, I
Does
think
Bell get help?
that was close as well. I don't think the 35 hit, but we've done this before. Maybe a tap there. Same thing over and over again. I don't think there was
He got loose.
contact there.
He just got loose. He went down the Roval chicane pretty well, though.
Well, yeah, until he missed the right-hander, but sure. But he did, just like Woodley, he straightened it back out, and he avoided hitting the inside wall, too. It's a very thin inside wall for the pit, but he came close to hitting it as anyone ever had. At least avoided that, but a lot of track position loss is going to be tough to get it back. As it's going to be another restart. We're going to get, that's our 7th caution of the night, I believe. And we're going to be probably under 10 to go when we get this next restart. We'll see if Bailey Turner can really do anything at Buck Border this time, because he didn't have a chance at him on that short run. See if Jeff Wright or Cabot can do anything. They're 3rd and 4th. They're going to be row 2 next time.
Well, under caution here for the 7th time tonight. Chase race number 3 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Saturday Night Racing League. Trying to wrap it up for Chase race number 3. We're going to take another quick commercial break and bring you uninterrupted coverage of the remainder of this race here on V-Speed.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Back here live for chase race number 3. Joseph McWhorter going to lead them into turn 1, side by side with Bailey Turner for the front row. Green flag back up in the air, and we're live and racing after 7 cautions here tonight. We already have a big check up there with the outside with Nick Starling.
Starling hit the wall. I think he spun the tires, but I was really looking at the front. It looked like Bailey Turner just completely mistimed the start. He's going to go back all the way to 4th. Cabot's up in the 2nd all of a sudden, Banks in the 3rd, and here comes Jeff Wright back into the picture.
Jeff Wright has been pretty much quiet for the last third of this race after having all kinds of trouble here. But with about 8 to go as they cross the line, finds himself inside the top 3 as he gets by Bailey Turner, now into Josh Banks. Banks gonna cut that line out a little bit.
Oh, Turner sideways. Man, that was close. Oh, Sturgill hard into the inside wall. Another caution.
Oh, he flattened the nose on that machine. It's done.
Oh, that was a huge hit. That was just over-aggressive. That was just over-aggressive racing gone wrong. That was really aggressive. Weaving down the straightaway, it looked like, as he'll fire it in the pit lane. Definitely his race is done. If it wasn't for the damage, it's the speeding penalty.
He came across the nose of Whitley.
Yes, he did. That was his team, not his teammate, excuse me, I don't think. But definitely came across the nose. I think he saw a move to the bottom to make, but because Bailey Turner got such a bad run, I mean, he must have figured he was clear, obviously, but he really was not close to clearing the 77. And just misjudged it and ends his own race.
Yeah, Turner gets a bad run on the exit. Oh, it's so close, though.
So close. So close, but just not clear. Whitley's been involved in a lot tonight, but nothing of his doing there. I think Sturgill saw his opportunity to get a really good finish and went to take it, and it just wasn't there. Huge, huge hit. That is not I don't believe that's a safer barrier either. That will definitely end Michael Sturgill's night. He will become, I believe, the 5th retirement of this race. He joins Austin Volk, Jonathan Smith, AJ Stravato, and Mark McFadden behind them.
And we're down to about 15 cars, 14 actually out on the racetrack, the 72 of Jonathan Smith. Smith could actually afford to come back out here and pick up a position.
He could get Volk, yeah.
But he's going to stay down on pit road. I know it's kind of like at the tail end of the season where you're just like, throwing the towel. I've had enough here tonight. I don't want to be tortured anymore. I'll just watch it from the booth. I can't blame Smith for, especially how his race ended, because he just, I mean, he got crashed hard. He was having a pretty solid race, and then it just went 100 to 0% really fast.
Yeah, no doubt about that. That's what happens when maybe it's a full moon. I don't know. We talked about it last restart. Things at Charlotte, it just gets wild. There's no explaining it besides just craziness. It's just these types of moves. Michael Sturgill will not make that move, I don't think, at any other track. But he felt like he had the run. He figures this is his race and went for it. Just didn't work. And that's probably one of the biggest hits we've seen all season for an incident. That's indescribable how wild tonight's been. I think that's our 8th caution of the night. We still got room. Knock on wood, it doesn't happen, but we do still have room for a couple more at this rate. As I think we'll get 1 degree next time by. McWhorter through all this continues to lead in a race that's kind of, with all due respect, it's kind of fallen into his lap the way the yellows have played out.
Well, it's fallen into his lap too in the aspect that Adam Cabot has right front damage. He has not had that machine ever 100% since about lap 90. So, Cabot also getting a little bit of damage there where Whitley came off the nose. I believe the 6th or 7th caution we had. So, Cabot's going to battle that. I mean, he's always fast regardless. It's going to be tough though, and that helps McWhorter kind of set up his run here. But he's also got to deal with Joshua Banks. Banks has been fast. He's led some laps here tonight. And Jeff Wright is still right there behind Adam Cabot. If he can get clear of these two within this short little run, McWhorter's not out of the woods yet. He's
No,
still
he's
got some
definitely
battling
not.
to do.
Yeah, he's gonna have to fend out the 17. As much damage as the run is on that 17 car, he's still very fast. He was on the bumper of McWhorter when the incident into turn 3 happened, so nowhere close to over just yet. As long as Cabot gets a good restart, he's gonna have a chance at the 73 to make a move and maybe loosen him up out of the corner. As I think he's gonna be able to have a chance to do that before the caution, but this is really gonna be the shot for Cabot. If there's a quick yellow, it's going to be tough to make a run at the 73 because you're going to have about, as we see, get 1 to green here. He's going to have 4 laps here. If you get a green-white checker, it's going to be much tougher to make any move happen on the race leader. So I think he's got to really do it. He's got to really fight hard to do it now.
Then we're going to have about, exactly 4 laps to go when we take the green. It's going to be very close to what would be a green-white checker, and we do have green-white checkers turned on for this league. So by that, if we don't make it to the white flag and these guys have a caution, they will add an extra 3 laps to the race. We'll take the green, go around 1 time, white flag, and if they can make it back to that white flag, it will be official. Regardless of what happens, they will run it out to the finish line. Whoever crosses it first will be the winner. Joseph McWhorter hoping to keep all of that behind him because this has been a very caution-plagued race. In the sense that we don't see many cautions. This is well above average for Saturday Night Racing League.
Yeah, I feel like the first caution-filled race I can think of was Bristol. We had 10, and that's a half mile. You kind of expect it at Bristol, but we are closing in on that mark as we get closer to the end of this race. As we haven't talked about green-white checkers, we haven't used those a lot either. We used them at Bristol, we used them at Martinsville. I think we even used one at Michigan. So we don't want to get in that territory, but anything's possible the way this race has gone.
Sometimes these drivers say that the full scheduled race of 140 laps isn't enough, and we need 3 extra ones to decide it. But Joseph McWhorter going to take the green flag. Adam Cabot does not get a good start and banks to the inside into 1.
Well, Banks spun the tires too, though. Neither driver is going to get going here, but Banks might clear for second. That is big for McWhorter. Cabot all the way to the top trying to get a run. He's loose, though.
He's
Way
very
too
loose, and now 3 wide down the backstretch.
Jeff
Wright down the middle.
Up the middle. Bailey Turner got chopped by the nose of, got his nose chopped, by Banks. That was tight as the 73 starts to get away.
I can tell you after Tuesday, those guys are not getting along.
Oh, that was tight. I can't believe Turner didn't turn him. 3 to go now. 73 putting a gap on these guys at this point. The 48-17 planting their right side for that outside wall, trying to find something here, but Whitley planted at the bottom. Him and the 48 just made contact.
And 3 laps to go, coming around for 2 to go. Joseph McWhorter, 0.2 of a second ahead now of Joshua Banks. Bailey Turner holding off, then all the 17 really loose off of 4.
Yeah, there's a chance that the wind's slipping now. Just not a good restart. That outside line not working as it looks like it's down to these 2 at this point, but Banks really not making any inroads on the 73 of McWhorter. Turner just trying to fight back to get maybe second position. Right, will clear Whitley this time.
So up to 4th position for the 48. He's got the 24 in front of him. It's going to be close here. White flag up in the air.
White flag, 1 to go. He's got to run down the front stretch. He need a lot through 3 and 4. He's going to have to do that 2 more times, though.
It doesn't look like he's going to have anything for him. Doesn't get a run down the backstretch. Joseph McWhorter has 2 more corners to do it.
Oh, he sent it in there.
He sends it in. A little touch on the bumper.
Oh, just not enough.
And the 73 holds on and gets the win here tonight. Joseph McWhorter, the winner here tonight is Charlotte.
Oh, man, and they crashed past the line. Yeah, I don't think Bailey was happy. Man, what a finish. What a wild race as the fireworks go off. They all crash after the line, fitting of how this race went. Just incredible finish to this race, and McWhorter somehow was able to hold on to that car because I thought he got his rear end completely shoved off the ground, but he holds on and wins.
Instant replay here, looking back. This is the final lap.
Oh man, I think if Banks could have gotten the runs he got a lap prior, he would have had a much cleaner shot at McWhorter here. But this was just a full send, and he almost made it work because McWhorter missed the bottom. Definitely gave him a light tap, but 73 held strong and was able to do burnouts on the front stretch as he went to the line. Turner gets third. He gets a privilege to talk with us. Jeff Wright, a surprising fourth place finish. Surprising because he's not getting interviewed at a mile and a half. That maybe hasn't happened all season. But that guy's definitely going to get interviewed, I think.
Well, post-race interviews with your top three. We're going to run down pit road and catch up with them. You're watching the Saturday Night Racing League Chase Race number 3 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We'll be back right after this.
Oh, big wiggle. And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The wheel gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes
Sweat.
Sweat.
A punch from the 33. Two
It's a
in
drag
row.
race.
The Magic Man. Winston Auto Club.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Back live at Chase Race number 3. Charlotte Motor Speedway has concluded its race for Saturday Night Racing League. And we're down on pit road where Connor Horn has caught up with your third place finisher here tonight. That's Bailey Turner in the number 24.
Yep, I do have Bailey Turner. Bailey did not lead any laps tonight, but he was at the front, probably in the top 5 majority of the race. Definitely in the top 5 at the back half of that race as we crossed midnight. on the East Coast. And Bailey, it almost, speaking of midnight in October and all that, it felt like it was a full moon tonight because this race was absolutely wild. How wild was it from your point of view, all 140 laps?
Yeah, I mean, I at the beginning of the race thinking, this might stay green, so started saving fuel and kind of let some guys go, and obviously that strategy didn't really pan out. And then towards the end there, I was hoping that pitting and kind of setting myself up for the end, only have to save a lap or two of fuel, was going to be the strategy to do. And then unfortunately we got some cautions that I'm not sure if they would have been cautions because iRacing didn't throw it, so that was a little unfortunate. And then just some aggressive racing there at the end, and wish we got a better restart there, but there's just so much wheel spin in that second lane that you're just at the mercy of the leader, especially if you don't time it well. And I think I timed it well once, got myself clear of Sturgill, and then the second time just tried to jump the gun a little bit, and unfortunately he got me there, and then proceeded to get my nose chopped by Banks, which is a very common occurrence as of late. So that was unfortunate, but glad to bring it home P3 and have some fun here with the guys in the league. It's been a good experience on Saturday nights.
Yeah, definitely a wild race. I was gonna note the outside lane on the restart. You did note that. I think you were the only driver who really made it work. We saw Cabot on that last restart just completely fade on that top lane. And you also covered the chopping. I was kind of shocked to not see contact there with the 35 of Banks, because I know you two are very fun to watch race each other. I'll leave it at that. But was there anything else you think you could have done as far as that final restart to maybe get yourself positioned for the win? Obviously, Banks chopping you into 3 hurt as well, but was there literally anything else you could do to get to that run for the win with McWhorter?
Yeah, probably just a better restart, honestly. I didn't really get to put myself in the best position there. I think I spun the tires a little too much, and then once I got to Banks, like you said, got chopped, and then I had Jeff from my outside and had to kind of cover that. And at that point, I'm just at the mercy of hoping that McWhorter and Banks get into it there, which looks like Banks tried, but unfortunately wasn't able to get him up the track at all, and none of us could really take advantage. So, keeping receipts on how we get raced between Saturday nights and Tuesday nights, and going forward, going to make sure we take care of that.
Definitely could see the receipts are piling up. As on our screen, we're seeing that incident with you and Banks. So not what you wanted, but start 9th, finish 3rd. Still a decent run for the night. I believe it's your 5th top 5 in 8 races this season, I believe. So at least a decent finish. Anyone you want to thank for this performance?
Yeah, of course, all the admins. It's fun coming in here and when they set this thing up on Saturday nights and driving such a fun car. Obviously, you guys in the broadcast, it's always fun to kind of go back and watch these things and get to hear your guys' side and your guys' takes on things, and it's been fun. So thanks for them, any sponsors for the league, and just looking forward to finishing out this season strong.
Billy Turner backs up a win at Dega with a 3rd at Charlotte. Thanks for talking to us, Bailey. I think we're going to see you on camera for the next 3 weeks, the way it sounds. So good luck next week.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, we got one side of things, Bradley, and I think you were the one who said you wanted to get the other side of things. So you've caught up to Joshua Banks in a hot garage area after this wild race at Charlotte. So I'm going to let you take it away and go to Joshua Banks here.
Down here with your second place finisher, the 35, Joshua Banks, and it looked like you had some racing left to do, just didn't come into fruition. We had all those cautions. It really plagued the second half of this race, Josh, and it seemed like after that, it just kind of came down to who was in the lead at the end.
Pretty much, man. Just shout out to Joseph, man, doing an awesome job getting that win. Being fresh tires, when you got guys up front with good pace, it's hard to get runs like that. I mean, I was surprised, honestly, to get a run going into the 3 like I did. He said he was kind of backing off a little bit just to make the corner, and I was pushing it really hard. So it was tough, man. It was tough to run him down, and I knew trying to hold off Bailey there was the key, because that was the only way I was going to catch him. If I was fighting Bailey at any point, it was over. So it was tough. It was really tough. Honestly, I didn't know how fast we were going to be on newer tires there, because in the beginning of the race, I didn't feel as confident with the speed, and we were obviously lagging back to save tires, but still you run in the back most of the race and you start to doubt your speed, and then we finally get up front and you're kind of nervous of whether or not you can keep up, and luckily we were able to keep it in second, try to fight for a win. That was pretty cool.
You send it down there in turns 3 and 4 in the last lap. You got to his bumper. Do you think if you would have had that move in that bag of tricks maybe a lap earlier, that it would have been a better finish?
I think for sure it would have been a better finish if I just had a lap to go, or at least got to him a lap or two sooner. I felt really good later in the run, or at least later in the race on the bottom of 3 and 4. I could really get that car hooked up good there, and it just was I don't know. It wasn't the best timing to get to him. Like you said, if it just had another lap, I probably would have had a better chance to make a move to get underneath him and make a pass, maybe. But I wasn't going to try to do anything stupid to ruin his race. He raced a good one and got himself a win, and that's what counts. And I don't want to take that away from anybody. So it was good racing on him, and I'm happy for him, and just glad we were on our end, came in second. That's always cool to be able to do that.
Well, the full moon here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway, above average caution count here tonight, Josh, but you're able to overcome all that and get a second place finish. Do you have anybody you'd like to shout out for that performance?
Oh man, just shout out you guys up in the booth for putting on always a good show in the broadcast, and always watching back these things and seeing how y'all do it, and it's fun to watch, and the racing on top of that, and obviously admins doing a great job up in the admin booth, doing a good job doing with this league and putting on good racing, and shout out to those guys, and yeah, pretty much it.
Get a little wave to the camera too while you're at it.
Well, you saw my knee. I don't know. Where am I at? There I am.
Okay.
I'm just chilling here right now. But hey, what's up, fellas? And there you go. I hope hopefully that, the cam was pretty cool to watch, because we were working the wheel. I mean, a lot of throttle control too. You really couldn't see the footwork. I don't like feet cam. I think it's the stupidest thing in the world. But
Okay.
the throttle control is a lot.
Extra for that, Josh. You got to charge a little extra money for the feet cam.
Yeah.
That's like a special OnlyFans league if we do like
Yeah.
racing with OnlyFans or something. But
I think the guy in third probably wouldn't appreciate it, but
no, of course not. But
Well,
no,
outside of that, Josh, it was a good race, man. We appreciate your time very much.
all right, man.
Talk to you
Appreciate it,
again.
man.
Second place finisher here tonight, that is Joshua Banks in the number 35. And we've got one more driver left to interview. That is your first place finisher down in victory lane here with Connor Horn, catching up with the number 73.
that is right. I got Joe's McWhorter victory lane. Unmarked bottles flying around and everything. McWhorter ended up leading 26 laps tonight. And I was saying this right before the end of the race, right before the final restart. And I meant this with all due respect, but it's almost kind of like, in a way, it fell into your lap, because the first half of the race, fully green, was really the 48-17, and I believe your teammate Mark Whitley really fast, but he kind of just got to the front at the right time when all the wildness started falling. You're able to avoid the chaos at the end. Just tell us how you got to the position to win this race.
I mean, we had speed to be up there with those guys. Problem is, I kind of shot myself in the foot at the first lap and almost lost it there. And, I kind of, like I said, I put us way behind in track position. I got all the way back inside the top 10, fell back a little bit after burning the tires up. And then, we got trapped a lap down. Like, we went through the field like 4 times tonight. And, I mean, it was nice to have a little bit of luck fall our way. I didn't think it was going to, especially with that caution that they threw for that 21 car spinning on the backstretch. I kind of thought that was going to be race over and left us with only one set of tires left. But luckily the cautions there kind of came out at the right time towards the end, able to get that last set. And when everybody else pitted, that caution beforehand, and it put us in behind Josh on that restart. I think that was the real big deciding factor, because, you had people like Jeff and a few others that stayed out that had like almost no fuel. Like they had like a gallon and a half less than we did with with about 45 to go. So, that was the big thing, because we pitted, so we were able to get a fast pit stop with hardly any fuel. We got the track position because they had pitted the time beforehand, and we stayed out on old tires, or slightly used tires, because we only had like 5 laps before that caution came out. But I think that was the biggest thing. But I mean, we had speed all night. We couldn't ever get there, because we got up to Bailey in that one run where Jeff was leading, and then it was Bailey and then me running 1, 2, 3, and Bailey was running me really, really tight and really hard, and I couldn't get free of him. to go chase Jeff down, and it let Jeff get way out there, and it was kind of frustrating to know that we had the speed to go run him down, but we couldn't. It was just so hard to pass on the bottom. You had to make something happen on the top.
Yeah, so just absolutely wild. And we did see that top line come in here and there. It didn't seem like it because of the 4 to go, only 4-lap restart, didn't really get to see a chance to get that going, but definitely played in your favor because it left Joshua Banks, who finished second to you, very little options. Just a quick question. You saw, you had a gap going into turn number 3 just a little bit, and then all of a sudden the 35 was on your bumper. How big did your eyes get when Banks got to your bumper?
I actually saw it coming because coming out of turn 4, Daryl, my spotter tonight, he called that Josh was going to have a run going into 1, watch the dive. And so I drove really good through 1 and 2. And then he still had a decent run getting down the back, but it wasn't enough to where I saw him being able to make a move to the inside. Or with how the entry speeds were tonight on the short run, you couldn't really make the high side work because that was more of something you could use later in the run. So I saw it coming, and so I hit the brakes. Because for some reason, I've come to learn on these cars that if you hit the brakes right before somebody gets you or hits you, it doesn't wedge as much. And so I hit the brakes and rode it until he started breaking off of me, and then I was able to carry the throttle back down and pull away from him. So I kind of expected it. I was going way too easy on the restart. I should have drove it in way deeper, but I didn't want to. I knew I could protect better that way than being offensive and overdriving the corner and getting myself tight and washing out of the corner and having somebody get a big run on me. So that was why I did that. And like I said, as soon as he got to me, I just hit the brakes. Not hard, just drug him. And instead of wedging, it just pushed me. And as you see there at the last little bit, his nose comes away from mine. And as soon as I feel him get off of me, I put the hammer down and pulled away from him. And that was what decided that right there.
I was wondering about that as well because he definitely hit you, but they got the explanation. So very smart on your part for sure. I would have never thought of that.
It's just, it's only because I've been watching I've been watching Mark do racing during the week in some of his leagues that he gets to do. And that's what I've come to notice is that guys that are on the brakes when they're hit don't spin. Guys that are not on the brake and get hit do spin. So that was something that we were using last week at Talladega is if you drug the brake slightly right before somebody would hit you, it wouldn't wedge and you could push. And which they weren't really wedging anyways last weekend anyways, which was weird, but it helped that fact that if you could drag the brake enough, you could get in there. And so that's what I used tonight against him.
Yeah, let's if I run more Gen 4 races, that's definitely something I will use if someone wants to bump me. So thank you for that. But besides that, Joseph McWhorter, another victory, big one, 26 laps led, and fending off your friend Banks. Anyone you want to thank for this?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to thank harpoondesign.com. They make the beautiful paint schemes that you guys see each and every week for me and my teammate Mark Whitley. So thanks to Brantley. Go check them out at harpoondesign.com. They got over 2,000 paints in their gallery. Beautiful paint schemes, both real life and custom made. Go check out Red Camel Racing at redcamelracing.com. All of your fireproof suits and all the race gear that you need that I wear in real life. Go check them out at redcamelracing.com. Whether it's workwear or racewear, they have it. Want to thank Driven Motorsports, my teammates, Jonathan Smith, Daryl, my spotter, Mark Whitley. Want to thank Reaper Speed Labs. They have been killing C Open right now. I don't know what they have for a truck setup this week. Go check it out. Go get that set up and go try it because they have been rocking and rolling this week with wins. You guys are putting on an awesome broadcast each and every week. You guys work really hard. You guys have beautiful camera angles. You guys make the show look really good. And bringing back the driver cams tonight. The admins for working really hard each and every week, having to do all the reviews and stuff at the end of the race. It's a big shout out to them. All the drivers for putting on an awesome race each and every week, and ready to get into wherever we're going next week.
I will inform you. It's race 4 the Chase. It'll be at Iowa, so prepare for that.
Yes, I love Iowa. You're going to see me up front, I promise. You're going to see me up front, I promise.
All right, well, I'm betting on it. You're my pick to win, and I'm picking a week in advance, which me and Bradley don't do. So you're already my pick. Joseph McWhorter, 26 laps led, become, I believe, the 4th multi-time winner this season with this win at Charlotte. Congratulations. Have a good night. Thank you for
Thanks,
talking.
guys. Appreciate it. You guys have enjoy your night.
You too, man. You too.
The race winner, the number 73, and I keep having problems with my overlays tonight, so I think we need to do a little adjusting, but things are working okay. We kept it together. Let's bring that final finishing order up on your screen right now. The final results here tonight, your top 3, Joseph McWhorter, Joshua Banks, Bailey Turner, the top 3. Then you have Jeff Wright, out of the ordinary for a 1.5 mile track, going to come home in 4th. 5th spot, Mark Whitley, Alex Bell. With all the turbulence he had tonight, able to bring it home in 6th. Ray Massey, good finish here for 7th. Adam Cabot, 8th position. Caleb Weekly, 9th. And Nick Starling, the BTDY League owner, coming out here tonight to finish in the top 10.
Yeah, we didn't talk about him a lot tonight, but he does sneak in a top 10 there. And some of the guys who are much less fortunate, Max Cost, he was at the front on a late restart, but he would fall back to 11th. Then Trejo had a spin, recovered to 12th. Brandon Wallace, he wrecked out of turn. He's able to get a 13th place finish. Chad Klinger, I don't know a single thing that went right for him tonight, besides maybe 2 lucky dogs, who finished 14th. Sturgill was the second to last caution, I believe. With the incident in turn 3, he'll finish one of the last retirement, technically, in 15th. Then Austin Volk will be 16th position. Jonathan Smith 17th. AJ Stravato out with that incident. Chad Klinger to turn 4, 18th. Then Mark McFadden, the last driver, finishing at 19th. Ryan Carwell never took the green flag tonight.
So that rounds out your 20-car field of the night, and we'll bring it back up on your screen one more time so you can get a look at what we had going into this race. McWhorter able to make up a little bit of points here on Jeff Wright as we go into Iowa, where the short track style racing that Iowa Speedway has been known to bring us. I'm excited because we know that this is tightening up week after week.
Definitely tightening up, and this was a big night for McWhorter to gain. We thought this would be Jeff Wright easily extending his points, but he's going to lose some points to McWhorter, and you heard it in our post-race interview with McWhorter. He loves Iowa. He's ready to run up front at Iowa, and on the other side of things for Jeff Wright, who knows what to expect. He's not been really the guy on the short tracks all season long. He's ran up the front, but unlike the 1.5 miles, he just doesn't contend for wins like he does on the bigger tracks. So this could be next 2 weeks. We go to Iowa, and then I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, we go to Dover. So 2 huge opportunities for McWhorter to tighten this championship battle up between him and Jeff Wright.
Well, we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast here on V-Speed. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do so now. It really helps us out tremendously. It gets more exposure for Saturday Night Racing League. And you can hit that notification bell so you never miss a single race as we go short track racing to Iowa Speedway next week. It's going to be a good one. I hope you guys are ready for Chase Race number 4, Saturday Night Racing League, live on V-Speed at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. But for everybody that puts it together here, Jeff Wright, the host of the league, and all the people that help him, Chad Klinger, and everybody in between, Adam Baker, Connor Horn, Eddie Smith, and Alec Martinez, I'm Bradley Cooper, signing off here on V-Speed. Have a great rest of your weekend and try to stay warm, everybody.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The Milo gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.